A little bit of a stunner. Dolphins always play Buffalo tough, so I didn't sit here thinking that Buffalo was going to cover a 9.5 line.
Right.
But this is as bad as we've seen the Bills look in quite some time on both sides of the ball. This does snap a 6-game win streak against the Dolphins, despite the Dolphins typically playing them at least competitively.
Yeah, that's right.
But, I mean, no answer for Devon Achane in this game.
Nope.
And the Bills have had games, Chris, where they don't have an answer for what the offense is doing to them, but their answer is their offense. But that didn't exist in this game.
That didn't exist. Exactly right.
It's like, oh, Josh Allen, you always say Superman. Well, sometimes you can't be Superman.
Exactly right. So there he is. There's a game yesterday where I always say, like, again, he makes some amazing plays still, but it's not like he's perfect and just making the amazing plays we were accustomed to seeing. And it's like, okay, can somebody help him out a little bit? Wait, hold on. Let me check the rules. Oh, the defense can make a play. Oh, okay, hold on. I just wanted to make sure. Wait. Oh, James Cook, they can't dominate in the run game? Wait. Can somebody else do something to help Josh Allen out a little bit? And of course, like you said, some of it was self-inflicted with himself as well. But I think we get back into the same old story here of what is our theme of the pod here a little bit with Buffalo. I mean, it's just, again, I like it, but do I look at it and sit here and go, ooh, I think they're one of the upper echelons, like cream of the crop, top football teams in the league in the AFC or the NFC? No, I don't. I got questions. The game has to go a certain way for Buffalo. They need to play a certain style. When it becomes, oh, no, we're behind, or oh, no, we can't stop this team's run like we talk about all the time, the game just changes in a big-time way, even against lesser competition. And like I said this on social media last night a little bit, like, hey, I don't remember too many Super Bowl teams who lose 30-13 to 2-7 football teams. I'm just saying. It's a broad statement. I know it's happened before, but I'm just saying that's not usually what happens to any team that's in the Super Bowl. They have a loss during the year where you go, hey, they got their ass whooped by that 2-7 team in the middle of November. That's a rare thing. It really is. Now, maybe the score looks a little worse than what it actually was, but there's no denying they were kind of controlled in the football game.
I thought so.
Right.
Every time the Bills had some positive momentum where they got across the logo, 50-yard line, James Cook fumble on the toss play.
Exactly right.
Josh Allen interception in the red zone.
Right.
It was just
Josh Allen fumble on the quarterback sneak when you thought, okay, maybe they're going to make this game close and get it interesting. Right.
Every single time.
Right.
And we got to hear from a very frustrated Josh Allen and Dawson Knox on this loss.
They came ready to play. They wanted it obviously a little more than us. I got to be better.
In any given week in the NFL, they came out and they just wanted it. They played hard. They had a great plan for us. A lot of respect for them and how they prepare for our offense.
Dawson, you're the third offensive leader to say in some form or another they wanted it more. They wanted it. Josh and Deion both said the same thing.
Yeah.
How does that happen with this team? Why is that, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It just was clear out there on the field. They just had a chip on their shoulder and they wanted to go out and prove something, and definitely felt like they wanted it more. So we got to do a lot of self-evaluation and kind of get introspective with that, look at ourselves, and figure out how to go from here.
That was Josh Allen and Dawson Knox. Deion Dawkins also said they played harder than us. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
No.
Although there's not really a perfect thing to say after a loss like this.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that was the go-to.
I hear you.
Because this isn't a Bills team wherever I go, effort was the problem.
Right.
I never say that about the Bills.
No, you usually never say that. I think a little bit of here, like the human psychology, I think we got to take into account. One, the Dolphins, Chris Greer getting fired, tumultuous week. They know guys were on the trade, the trade conversation.
Jalen Phillips shipped out.
Exactly right. Jalen Waddle, he was probably a little bit like, am I going to stay here?
Sure.
There was all that talk. So I think they rallied around that a little bit, and a little bit of like, hey, we're going to keep fighting here. And Mike McDaniel obviously has them fighting, which I think is impressive. But also I think the other aspect is, and we saw this yesterday, all the teams that kind of had remarkable wins last week in week 9, they all, kind of struggled. Hey, Vikings, we beat the Lions.
Yeah.
Oh, not that good. Bears, we had that unbelievable comeback against the Bengals. Well, they had to pull one out of their ass
one.
again,
Yes.
right? The Carolina Panthers, we went up to Green Bay and beat Green Bay.
Not
What? Well,
competitive.
you just laid an egg at home, right?
It's the Saints.
Exactly.
It's Tyler Shuck.
And so then I throw this in there with it. Like, we just beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are one of the better teams, right? The Steelers, we beat the Colts last week. Oh, you looked like crap last night. Sorry. So I do think that even happens at the NFL level, too, where you have a big win. You see the next team on the schedule. You go, we're the Dolphins. We own them. Connor just said it. We've won 6 in a row. We've won like 19 out of 20. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to do that. I think some of that comes into play a little bit. I do. And it showed a little bit. So I don't know if I look at it as lack of effort, but just lack of intensity and want and will to going into the football game, I think, is a little bit more of what it was. And, yeah, Miami played with a chip on their shoulder. Buffalo played like they were entitled to win the football game just because they're Buffalo and Miami's not as good as they are.
I think lost in this, too. For Devon Achane, he forced a career-high 11 missed tackles. He was amazing in this one. Mike McDaniel is still one of the best run-game coordinators in the sport. And I know nobody likes to say it because he's weird at the podium, and maybe he's not a great head coach. I'm not arguing that.
I hear you.
But as a run-game coordinator, something that he did with Kyle Shanahan for so long, the guy could do it with the best of them, and this was on display against the Bills.
I agree. This is where I'm going to continue to fight for Mike McDaniel. I don't think he should be fired. I don't. I mean, Mike McDaniel, the whole league has stolen his offense the last 4 years. I mean, everybody's like, oh, damn, that's cool. Whoa, that motion right there, we never did it that way. I mean, everybody. He's been a trendsetter. They've been one of the most fun teams to watch in football in his tenure because of his offense. He needs to run the ball more. That's what the numbers would bear out and tell you, right? I mean, this is just a basic way. I think we went over this a few weeks ago a little bit here. But when your yards per play in running is tied for 9th in football, right? Okay, so you're 9th in football there, but then your attempts per game, okay, running the ball are 28th. That's not right. That is what I can blame Mike McDaniel on and go, you're not running the ball enough. You're too good at it. You're getting too enamored with, let me throw another 6-yard pass to Waddle or some crazy motion when Tyreek Hill's in there. Let me do that. So I'm with you all the way. But, yeah, I'm a fan of him and what he does on that side of the ball. And, again, I think he's with a quarterback that's limited. So that's what I throw that on there too. And, yeah, that was an impressive win yesterday. But I think we're going to see them rely on this run game a little bit more as we go down the stretch here. And hopefully they do. But as we know, Buffalo, when you can run the ball, they have problems. And off of that, this is what's also going to, people don't realize. Like, the Miami passing scheme is more surgical and schematically attacks you more than the Chiefs. As we've talked about with the Chiefs before, the Chiefs are kind of like, we just send everybody across the field this way, and Mahomes will just dance around and make it happen. It's not necessarily like, hey, we want to boom.
Right.
It's not always that way. Where McDaniels does all this stuff that stresses you and the motions and all that, and then he widens out 3 people in a zone to sit somebody in the middle, and he's creative that way to where that's more of a problem, I think, for Buffalo's defense as compared to dealing with Kansas City and their passing offense, and then they don't really run the ball the same either.
Right. What we went over last week, where the longer Mahomes was holding the ball, the less that was there.
Exactly.
It seemed like where Miami, that's the last way they want to play.
Exactly right.
The ball wants to be out in
exactly
space.
Right. And so that's a different way of having to defend a football team, as far as the style of it, for sure.
The homies weighing in. Leasing Dust says the Dolphins taking away Papa Shot is what made the difference. What do you think of when coaches pull out the games from the locker room?
Yeah,
like the ping pong table. I think it's one of the funniest things in sports.
I mean, it is. It is. And listen, I'm old school, Connor. Like I'm one that's like, well, why the hell were they ever in there?
Right.
That's
exactly.
what I want to say. Like, why the hell were they in there? What are we doing? I don't believe in that. I mean, again, I grew up in Bill Parcells' New York Giants. I, as the son of the quarterback who won the Super Bowl, was barely allowed in the locker room after the game, right? I mean, my dad would be like, okay, come in.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, hide me, right? Saturday walkthrough, he'd be like, go sit up in the stadium up there and we'll play after, right? So that's the school I came from.
Yeah.
I of course, played for John Gruden. There was no games in the locker room. We went to a new facility my last year there when I lost the spleen and all that, and the new facility had a game room, and we didn't start out good. And, of course, he unplugged them all because we'd be getting ready to go out to practice, and everybody be sitting there racing on the car racing or fighting
the
Street Fighter.
thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't love that to begin with, and I wouldn't have games in my locker room.
Arthur Healy said the Bills really needed to add someone at the deadline. I agree with this take.
Yeah.
And Brandon Beane, there was a report that came out that they even called some teams in the division. Quinnen Williams, I think, was on there.
Quinnen Williams, Jalen Waddle, I believe.
Here's my problem with that.
Right.
Why would you ever believe that was going to happen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're the Miami Dolphins. We'll send our one of our best players to the Bills. The Jets. Yeah, we'll send Quinnen Williams to the Bills.
I mean, and if they do, they're going to make you pay a premium for being in the division.
200% tax.
Definitely.
I don't. That just doesn't sit well. Like with what we tried Well, that's not the method of trying. You need to get a little bit more creative. Why'd Rashid Shaheed go for a 4 and a 5?
Exactly right. Right. I'm with you there.
I just don't get it.
Again, what you're hearing and what you said, Arthur Healy, I mean, this is what I've been saying, and I've been saying about this football team really for 3 or 4 years now. Again, a lot of respect for Buffalo. But I'll say it, and again, not only do I ever see teams that lose 30-13 to a 2-7 team go to the Super Bowl too, I just go when you have to name superstars on a football team and you only get 2 people, I go, that's not a Super Bowl team. I'm sorry, Josh Allen, James Cook, not a Super Bowl team. If we go through the Super Bowl teams of the last 10 years, I'm gonna keep going. We're going to go down a list, and you're going to go, damn, there was 4 or 5 on the offense and 4 or 5 on the defense. I forgot about that. And that to me is where the rubber doesn't meet the road with Buffalo.
So now the Bills trail New England by 1.5 games in the AFC East.
Yeah.
So this division, I mean, obviously not wrapped up, but you look at the upcoming next 3 for each. The Bills, it's not easy sledding compared to New England.
Not
Bucs
at all.
At Houston, at the Steelers, compared to New England, home against the Jets, at the Bengals, home against the Giants.
That's what I mean.
And I mean, we don't know the status of Jackson Dart right now. It didn't look great yesterday.
But we're comfortable saying that they're better than all 3 teams, the Patriots, who they're going to play.
They're favored right now by 11.5 against the Jets. They'll probably be favored potentially by double digits against the Bengals.
Yep.
And they'd probably be favored by 7.5, 8.5 with a Jackson Dart-led Giants, which is not a guarantee.
Right. And you could flip it to the other side, and you look at the Bills and go, man, the Bucs, that's a coin flip game, right?
Without
the
a
Bucs
doubt.
are a better team. If it wasn't in Buffalo, I'd go the Bucs should be favored. Houston, it won't be easy there. I mean, Houston, my thoughts on the defense. Again, everybody, you saw it yesterday. I mean, they're incredible. They're incredible. I mean, they spotted Jacksonville a 17-point lead with just messing things up and then just put the whammy on them. The Steelers game is going to be even for Buffalo. And then they still got New England. They still got the Eagles on their – so, I mean, there's losses out there for Buffalo. For my money, New England is in firm control of the AFC East right now.
It would take a pretty shocking game in one of those next 3 for you to be like, oh, man, New England and Buffalo now is it's going to come down to the end.
Right.
New England basically just has to take care of their business, which is tough to do in the NFL right now.
Yo. Thanks for watching, homies. We are now in the NFL season here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, game recaps, film deep dives, and much, much more.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, rate, review. Peace out. You know where to find us.